All right, so yesterday this happened. I don't know how or why, but anyway. So this is where we're at now. This is the orange truck. So I was sick and tired of that truck. It was just an absolute disaster. Um, Worst decision I made last year by far. I mean, it was just too big of a truck for me. It got about 7 miles to the gallon. Had absolutely no power whatsoever. Insurance, that was under it was crazy trying to get insurance for it, and there was a mileage limitation on it and whatnot, and I hated that truck with a passion. I was having trouble selling it. I mean, right now I don't. With this time of year, it's tough to try to sell stuff or whatever. There's just no money right now, so having problems selling it. Couldn't sell it, and then my cousin with the Jeep there, he was talking when he was up, and he knows the guy that my buddy coincidentally got the black truck from, that black turbo truck with the 4.8, and was talking to him, sending pictures and whatnot, and was like, hey, do you have anything to trade, whatever, and he was like, yeah. It's real difficult to talk to him. He's a strange individual, which I know the same can be said about me. But anyway, he was 110 miles away, and I was going down there to look at a 15 GMC, and it was lowered, way lower. I don't like lowered stuff. I don't like lifted stuff. I like stock ride height stuff, and it just it was lowered, which that I can fix that. I try to look at it as what I'm familiar with, what I can do with it, how I can fix it, whatever. So he sent a couple more pictures of it, and I mean, it looked good in pictures, looked great in pictures. The sides he took of it, and I guess that's another point, is you should ask for lots of pictures. Now I guess I understand why people ask for lots of pictures. So he's a buy here, pay here person, one of those car lot deals. So my wife was off. Well, no, she's not. Well, she was off yesterday, but she worked to try to get ahead so it wouldn't pile up on Friday. So she was finishing up, and then we were all going to ride down there as a family. And then last minute, the weekend guy called in and was like, I'm done with this. So she had to take over. So I ended up going down there by myself. And I think I got passed by absolutely everybody. School buses, mopeds. I mean, it should have been an hour and a half trip, and it took 2 hours, a solid 2 hours. I mean, that thing, about 70 miles an hour in that truck, was 2,500 RPM. So I mean, red line's 3,000, 3,200 on a 7.3, and I mean, it was just super painful. Absolutely hated it. So when I got down there and saw the red truck, the GMC 15 that I was supposed to be trading for, I was like, man, this thing, looked around. Bed was caved in on the passenger side. The roof had damage. The passenger door had damage. I mean, it was just, there wasn't any way I was about to trade for that. And then I looked through about every vehicle he had on the lot, and this was the last resort. I mean, this was by far like the cleanest, nicest thing he had on the lot. And of course now the orange truck is. I mean, the orange truck, don't get me wrong, it was a very nice truck. I hated it. I just hated it. And once that happens with me, that's it. So I just, it wasn't a usable, drivable truck, and I don't know what I was thinking or why I did that deal. I tried to make it better, a little bit, but the next thing I was going to try was a turbo and injectors and all, and that's $4,500. And then I had a guy on Marketplace message me and was asking what gears I had, if I still had the 488 gears in the truck, and what kind of mileage I got. And he was on stock wheels and tires and was getting 7 miles to the gallon. And with mine, with the larger tires on it and the semi wheels, it was probably about a 424 is what I calculated for the gear ratio, which that helps a lot, but still 2,500 at 70. I mean, that's it should be a lot less than that. About 2,000 is where I like to be. But anyway, it's gone now, and I got this. I'm not real happy about this. I might be in a worse off situation getting this, but I mean, unfortunately, I had already made up my mind that I was not coming home with that orange truck. So, if anybody would have offered me anything that was halfway decent, I would have traded that orange truck for it, because I wanted out something serious. Obviously, I came home with this junk. So, not real wild about it being an EcoBoost. It's a twin turbo V6. It's a 3.5. It's a 2011. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing. I haven't messed with Ford trucks since they went to overhead cam. I haven't messed with Ford since they went to overhead cam. I just don't like overhead cam. That's why I went to LS. I used to be a Ford man, and that's all we had was Ford, and I despised everything else. And I didn't like the overhead cam stuff. I like the trucks. I mean, they're good trucks. The interiors are nice. This one's a platinum. There's probably so much stuff I'm gonna find that's wrong with this thing and I hate about it, but like I say, I wasn't about to drive that orange truck 110 miles back home. So I mean, it's got heated and cooled seats. They're not in that bad a shape. I mean, it's got somewhere here, I think it's about 145,000 miles on the truck. I mean, it's a nice interior. Like I say, hate sunroofs. Hate them with a passion. They're just more problematic. There's some stuff finding already. Don't even know what that is. I don't have to figure out what that is. But it's 4-wheel drive. I hadn't had a 4-wheel drive truck in a long time. Kind of wanted a 4-wheel drive truck, to be honest. It's not a bad truck from what I can tell so far. And it looks like that guy he likes systems or music or however these people call this stuff these days. I like stock. That's, unless it's the power department, then I want everything. But I want stock ride height, stock wheels and tires. I want it as stock as it can be and make a lot of power. And, that's what I'm about. I don't care about any of the other stuff. So, I've already, obviously I already been looking at stuff to do with it, and with it being twin turbo and me having a twin turbo car, I know about back pressure and restriction with turbos. So, of course, I crawled under it last night and looked, and I think there's room for improvement with the exhaust system, the Y-pipe thing and all that. So I'll probably clean that up, do true duals on it, 3.5, probably 3.5, I mean 3-inch, 3-inch, and then single tailpipe or something like that. I mean, again, I don't want it to look, oh, the tailpipe's on the other side on that truck. But, I like it to, nobody's really going to notice it, unless they know what they're looking at. I mean, that truck with a 4-inch exhaust pipe on it doesn't look out of place on that truck, and it's very unsuspecting. So, but yeah, like I say, I don't know what I've gotten myself into. I'm really not happy about it. I don't know what I've gotten myself into getting this, but I had to get out from under that orange truck, something serious. And I guess we'll learn about EcoBoost. This is not going to turn into a Ford channel, don't worry. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of content on the 550 just because I was so upset with it and didn't want anything to do with it. So anyway, still haven't heard back on my converter, still haven't heard back on my drive shaft. I don't want to bother them during the holidays and whatnot. So the converter for the Caprice was supposed to be here on the 15th, supposed to be delivered. I got my exhaust tips on. You can see these are the BMW X5, and they're fit pretty good. That is my blood. Yeah, saw slipped, and you know, call me Mr. Butterfingers. But I think they look pretty good. I'm happy with them. You know, it's not finalized because you know, the turbos aren't mounted and all that stuff. So I really got to get this car going and get it dialed in, finished up and everything, so I can drive it some too. I have there's a couple people interested in it, you know, but we're kind of, you know, can't do anything right now because it doesn't do anything right now. So once I get it back together and running, driving, we get the transmission dialed in with Michael, I'm going to go back down there again. We're going to go over everything and finish dialing it in. And one guy's like, "Where are you going to put it back on the dyno?" And I'm like, what's the point? I mean, you know, it's a numbers game at that point. Who cares if it makes 1100 at the tires? I mean, it's a street car. And when are you going to put that down? So I don't see the need to continually abuse the car by putting it on the dyno and trying to see a bigger number. That's how I am. It's a tuning tool, get the car dialed in, you know, and then once Michael did all that, and then, you know, the street tuning, get everything, the transition of the fuel system and all that stuff dialed in. And, you know, that's all I care about. I don't care about continuing to, you know, more and more and more. I mean, the car is really fast as it is. I mean, and that's on the 760, you know, pump gas tune up, you know, and then when I flip the switch and two-stage boost controller, and then we're, you know, close to 1,000 at the tires. And I just don't see the need that, you know, if whoever wants to get the car, if that's what they want, you know, I'll be more than happy to, you can go down there to the dyno and put the 4-bar map sensor in it, and I'll let Michael turn it up to whatever the new owner wants to see, because that's going to be a non-refundable deposit, because, you know, anything could happen. I mean, I'm not saying that it's, you know, going to blow up or whatever, but it's race cars. I mean, that's the inherent nature of this stuff. I mean, the car runs really good. I'm very impressed by how quick this car is. But, you know, I don't care about, you know, being able to say I have a 1,000 horsepower street car, because, I mean, you know, it's 967 is what it made. So, I mean, that's close enough for me. But I got everything ready to go. I just need the converter, and I need the drive shaft. So, like I say, with the holidays and everything, I'm not going to bother anybody because I don't want to be bothered. I had somebody call me yesterday on New Year's Day, you know, about their vehicle. Or, you know, I'm assuming I didn't answer it because, come on, have some respect. I'm a person just like you are. I want to be with my family just like you do. I need some days off just like everybody else does. So, you know, I'm not going to bother anybody on their holiday. I expect the same treatment. So that's that. But anyway, hopefully this year will be a lot better than last year. Not that last year was bad, but the orange truck, after the orange truck, last year was just downhill from there. It was horrible. So, yeah, this morning or sometime today, I will contact them because, you know, like I said, the converter should have been here the 15th of December, and now here we are, the 2nd of 24. So, you know, if they're going to make promises like that, they need to do something about it. The drive shaft guy, he didn't tell me anything, so he might be waiting on something for me. I don't know. I got the back glass out of this junk yesterday, and then everything happened with the going to get the white truck. So, and plus it's like 29 degrees in here, so I'm cold, and I do not like the cold at all. I don't like not being able to feel my hands, and trying to do this kind of stuff, not being able to feel your hands really sucks. And plus the door not being able to close all the way. I gotta try to remedy that today, hopefully. But I think what I'm gonna do is put a ductless split up here and try to get that going so I can have some conditioning in here, because I don't mind the summers as much. It's not that bad in here with the insulation. This is 1-inch closed cell insulation, and it does really well. It was totally worth it. I think I paid $4,200. This is 30 by 40, 12-foot walls, 16 or 18 peak, I don't know. But totally worth the money. I'm glad I did it. It really tied the building together and soundproofed it and insulated it. It's definitely a good idea. So I think with a 2-ton unit, I should be good to go. But I'll probably get that this year and get that installed. So that's it for now.